What's up, YouTube? This is 82 and 0. Welcome back. I'm going to talk about a player I don't talk a lot about, but is Luka Doncic. He's having a really great season. He's putting up 33 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 8.7 assists, 1.6 steals. He's not a great defender, but he's playing the best defense of his career. Has 49% field goal shooting, 34% from three, and he's improved his free throw shooting somewhat. Now, to me, Luka is a generational talent, no doubt. He's one of the best players in the game. Some people say he's the best. Some people say Giannis. Whatever. I personally think it's Giannis, but whatever. I think I could see him winning MVPs down the road. He's only 23. I think the Mavs organization is doing a lot of moves that's going to, I think, down the road, hurt their chances of keeping Luka Doncic. And what I mean by this is, for example, they made the Western Conference Finals last year. They won 52 games. So some people could say, well, they're not in trouble. But look at their record this year. They're 15-15. That's not that good. We're almost halfway into the season, and they're just a 500 team. What happened? I mean, they lost Jalen Brunson, and in my opinion, I'm sure there are people who disagree with me. That's fine. I think it was a mistake getting rid of Kristaps Porzingis, because I don't think he's a bad player. I mean, look at what he's doing. He's putting up 22 points, 8 rebounds, almost 2 blocks. Dallas needs that second star. They traded him. In my opinion, I think it was a steal on the other end. They traded him for Dinwiddie. I'm not saying Dinwiddie's a bad player. But he's putting up 15 points. Come on. I do think Kristaps was the better player. I'm not sure why they traded Kristaps. I've heard it's, locker room drama. I've heard Kristaps is a hard player to keep around. Whatever. But my point is, losing Kristaps and losing Brunson is what's hurting the Mavericks. But not only that, who's their best player now other than Luka? I mean, I'm sorry, Tim Hardaway Jr. Your dad was a Hall of Famer, but Hardaway Jr. is not a second star. Spencer Dinwiddie is not a second star. These are just role players. Reggie Bullock, role player. Finney Smith, role player. Luka doesn't have that help around him. And a lot of people compare Luka to Dirk. Dirk had much more help in the early 2000s. Yes, he did. He had Steve Nash, although they traded him away. They had Michael Finley. They had guys, I guess past their prime, but they had Jason Kidd, Jason Terry. Luka just doesn't have a lot of help. And I think down the road, he did sign that Supermax. And he's locked in there for quite a few years yet. I think his actual last year of his contract is like 26, 27. So he has a few years there. And, people could say, oh, he's young. They'll build a team around him. But they're not going to be getting good draft picks. I mean, they're mid-tier right now. They're just a 500 team. They're not going to get the good picks. And I don't really see a star going to sign with Dallas. And right now, I mean, something could change in the future. It doesn't look like Dallas has any hidden gems, like any players who are, up and comers that are going to break out as a star. I don't see it happening. I do think one smart move they made was signing Kemba Walker, because I do think Kemba Walker can contribute still. I think it was an absolute travesty that he wasn't playing. Because you saw Kemba just the other night, for example. Like I was saying, the Mavs don't have a lot of extra scoring. Kemba scored 32 points on his own against Cleveland, which is a very good defensive team. If I'm not mistaken, Cleveland is the number one rated defense in the league. But that's one of their only smart moves, in my opinion. Dallas just doesn't have a solid enough roster to compete. And I think they need to kick it into high gear, because I do think Luka will leave. Where would he go? I'm not sure. But I think if he loses this year, and next year is just as disappointing and they don't make any big moves, I wouldn't really be surprised if Luka asked for a trade. I mean, the dude is phenomenal. I'm talking a 30.8 PER. I'm talking win shares. He's carrying the whole load of the team. And I do think Jason Kidd is part of the problem. I don't think Jason Kidd is that good of a coach. That's just my opinion. But Dallas Mavericks, they need to make some moves soon. Luka needs a second star. And I don't want to see Luka leave. I really don't. I like seeing generational talents stay on their teams. I mean, yes, they have the right to go where they want. Whatever. But, I grew up in the era where Kobe stayed on the Lakers, Duncan stayed on the Spurs, Dirk stayed on the Mavs. It'd be cool to me to see, Curry retire with the Warriors, Giannis retire with the Bucks, Luka retire with the Mavs. I know Jokic was saying that he wants to stay with the Nuggets his whole career. That's cool to me. I like seeing this, but the Mavs need to make some moves and quick. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching.